The Lord woke me up this morning with a prophetic dream about Prophet Tomi Arayomi. And I believe that this dream came at this time for a reason. One of the ways that God speaks to me, or the number one way for me that God speaks to me, is through dreams. If you've been part of my channel for any period of time, you see that I've shared some dreams that the Lord showed me very detailed. So I want to get into this dream. And at the end, I'm going to share with you the symbolism and the things that I felt that the dream meant. And I believe that it's going to really change lives. Now I've seen Prophet Arayomi stuff online. I've seen some of his clips, and I do believe that he is the real man of God, the true man of God. There are a lot of men of God out there that are just whatever, but I do believe that he is a real man of God. But I don't follow him on social media or things like that. So I wanted to preface that with that. So I don't know what he's working on in terms of his personal life or anything detail. So I want to share with you what I saw in this dream, okay? And at the end, we're gonna pray. So this morning, when I had this dream, I was outside. I don't know where I was. I haven't been to this place before, but it was outside, right? I'm standing there, and then Tomi came to me. He said, "Hey, man, I want to show you something," And we proceeded to walk, and in this, we're in the woods. But as we walked, he said, "Look, I just bought this property, this land, and I'm gonna build on it." He was so excited. It's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna build." I'm like, "Wow, that's great." Now, the place that he showed me, right, in terms of how it looked, it was in the middle of nowhere. I didn't see any other properties or any other homes in the area. Now with dreams, funny thing about dreams is that I was standing, but it's almost like I was lifted up to see everything around me, and I didn't see any properties. I just saw woods and trees. But this particular place that he showed me, I saw, it looked almost like if you seen like a junkyard, right? Or it looked something like that, where I saw, but it wasn't cars that were there. If you've ever been to a junkyard, they said car parts, and it looked so messy. But I saw like homes had been demolished in this area, and I saw people. I think there are groups of people. I saw in front of us, there was a group of men that were getting the place ready for construction work. They were taking out debris. It's like when properties or when buildings get demolished, and you see all the debris and stuff on the ground, and people are coming to clean it up. And there was some, I think a construction truck, whatever there, but it wasn't doing anything. So I saw a group of people, they were just picking things up. And then to the left again, I saw another group. They were just kind of removing things and kind of trying to clean up the place. Now, we walked there. In front of me, at the center of this property, right? At the center of it, I saw what looked like a cabin. The cabin had I'm not sure what type of wood that was used, but it was a dark brown. It was the quality, you can tell the grade of the quality it was high quality. Now, we didn't get to go inside, we didn't get to see anything, but at the center of all this mess, right, at the center of what looks like a junkyard, right, where they're selling used cars and parts, you can go to pick up parts or whatever, was this beautiful cabin that was right there. So he pointed to me. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna hire you to help me, to kind of get this place, to help me build the place." In other words, in the dream, I was like his builder, right, to kind of come up with a design for the place. And there was another gentleman with me. This gentleman, I never seen him before. He was about 6'2". He had on his hair was low fade on the side all around. He was slim. He had on a red shirt, not like the shirt that I have, but it's it wasn't a button-up dress shirt, but it had buttons here, and it was a short sleeve shirt that this guy had on. Prophet told me he had on an all white. I don't know what you call those things, but what comes to mind is when you see like the Muslim people that have that all white, clothes, garment, whatever you want to call it, right? And he had the same glasses, just like now, and it was all white. So we're standing there, and he was just showing me, he was telling me, he was so excited about this property. He was real, because it's like, I want to build something new here. I want to build something great here. He didn't get to tell me what he wanted to build. So he said to me, I'm going to hire you. And he pointed to the other gentleman to say, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to hire you guys to help me with this. And I have some people that's going to assist you. And I saw people carrying, broken bricks building, like they're just trying to clean up the place to get it ready for some type of construction work. So as we're walking, again, this beautiful cabin is in front of me, and this whole pile of mess, something beautiful was in the middle. So we're walking down. He said, he was trying to get my feedback on what to do. So I said to him, the first thing that we need to do is we need to name the gates, because the way that the property was, again, it was in the middle of nowhere. But I said to him, there's gates that we need to name. I think there are about 4 different entrances to the property. I said the first thing we need to do is we need to name the gates or the entrance. So as people are coming, when you tell someone where to meet you, you can say, okay, I'm at gate 1 or gate whatever, this is where I'm at, instead of trying to explain what you're around. You just tell them, okay, gate 1. They know exactly what gate 1 is. There are about 4 gates. So we walked, and in front of me, above me, were like pillar, like a pillar. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start with this one, but before I start, I need to take a picture of this. So I reached out of my pocket and I grabbed my phone. So when I look through the phone, I'm like, I'm not really the aperture. I need to open it up more. It's not getting everything. So I took the phone and I switched the setting. Now, if you have a phone, right, when you go to take a picture, you're gonna notice that you have like 1.5 or something like that, and 3. So I put it to the one that's going to give me like a fisheye lens for photographers out there. It gave me like a whole view of the place. But something incredible happened when I switched it to that setting. Before, my field of view was very narrow. I couldn't see a lot. Once I switched it, I was able to see a little bit more. When I looked through there, I saw a complete and finished project when I was looking through, take a picture. But in the physical, it's just looked like it didn't look the same in the physical, right? It looked like a junkyard in the physical. But when I looked through that phone, I saw a beautiful place that was already complete. So I took a picture of it, and in the dream, I'm like, wow, this is amazing, because it's almost like when you put on the glasses, you see one thing, you take the glasses off, you see something else. And the house that I saw, the house looked like those houses back in like the 1800s, those big, huge mansion, almost like how the White House looks. That type of, I don't know what type of style. I don't know if it's like the Victorian or whatever, but that style, it was huge. The outside was beautiful. It was this beautiful White House. The doors were tall. If you've ever seen a mansion, I'm talking about a real mansion, you go by the doors, they're usually very high, and they had like the high ceiling. So this house, I saw just from the outside, the lawn was well kept. It was just like, it was amazing. And it was the type of home that you see like in a magazine, or you see like in a high-end movie, and everything was already done. But I only saw that when I looked through the phone. When I took the phone away, it looked like just nothing. So as I put it down, I was okay, we've named this gate now. Now, as we're walking from the first entrance or the first gate to go to the second gate, the guy that was with us, that I mentioned in the beginning, that had the red shirt, the slim, light-skinned guy, he said, oh yeah, Prophet gave me this car. I'm going to be driving this car. And he just smiled. I looked at Tomi, and we just kind of had that moment where it's like, wow, the guy was so excited that, you know, it seemed like he didn't have a car before, but now he was going to be using this car. It was a red truck, pickup truck. But the pickup truck, it was like a 90, I would say it looked like the design from like 95, 6, 7, around that time. It wasn't a modern design car, but it was a pickup truck that he could be able to use that to go around. And it had just two, it didn't have 4 doors though. It was just one, you know, just 2 doors. Like it didn't have it wasn't a full size truck. So just the driver's side, the passenger side, and then it had the bed in the back. But it was a red pickup truck. So the guy smiled, and I looked, I'm like, wow, that's great, man. So we walked now to the other gate, because the goal again was I told him, you know what, I want to take a picture of each gate, and I'm going to give this to the people that's building the blueprint or whatever, so they can use this as they're designing everything to say, okay, this is gate 1, this is gate 2, so people know, and things like that. So we walked, and he was so happy. And in the dream, I made a joke with him. You know, I was like, wow, this property is nice. I'm like, it's in the middle of nowhere. I said, this reminds me of Vegas, where, you know, you got this white people that just went bought land from nowhere and just built something amazing. And he just laughed, you know, he laughed. And we just had, it's like, you know, like a little funny moment or whatever. And he was like, yeah, this it's something like that, right? So we started to walk to the other gate. And as we walked to the other gate, to name the same thing we did, then the dream just ended. Now, this is the things that comes to mind with that dream. When I get prophetic dreams like that, I remember details. That's one of the ways that I know that a dream is prophetic, because I can remember details. I know what colors he had on. I saw details. So here's what came to mind, and this is what I believe that God is saying regarding that dream. I believe that that dream symbolizes, like Nehemiah, to rebuild the walls, that God took things that was damaged. God took something, right, that wasn't used the right way, to give it to someone that is going to use it the right way. You know, we talk about this transferring of wealth. Well, not just transferring of wealth, I believe there's a transferring of properties as well. And I believe that this is one of those things where there's going to be a transferring of property to Prophet Tomi and his family. So Nehemiah had to rebuild the walls. And I would encourage you to read the book of Nehemiah. It's a powerful and amazing book. He had to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem again. And God specifically assigned him to that, because God knew that of all the people, he was the one that had the capacity to build the wall. So I believe that God has given Prophet Tomi the capacity to rebuild and to build. And another thing too is, this is going to be a no restriction zone. What I mean by this is, when you lease a property, when you renting, or when you under some type of constraints, if you don't like, there's so much limitations that you have. But I believe that this property, it is going to be a no restriction zone, that whatever God has given you, the things you desire, you won't have to get permission from anyone. Look, when you lease a property, when you rent a property, if you want to modify anything, you want to change anything, you got to get permission to ask this, you got to this, you know. But with this particular property, I see you having complete control over everything, and you have the final say as to what goes on. And there's no one above you that's going to, I mean, of course, God, of course, but there's no one that you're reporting to about this property. And what's going to happen, I see this as going to be groundbreaking. That this is going to be a groundbreaking property that God has given you from just from the little bit that I've seen his clips, and just a little bit that I know that God has given you a unique way to present things. You know, when you go to a person's home reflects their character, right? And I see that God has given you, and you're going to design this property in such a way that is going to reflect you. That when people come there, they're going to be, yep, he owns that. Because the property and how it's, even from how it looks, It is going to reflect your personality. It is going to reflect your family style. It is going to have that reflection. And another thing too that I believe God is saying to this is that you will not lack the help of men, not just any men, but strategic help. In the dream, I saw people already working. They weren't coming in, or they were already on site working, and they were diligent, very diligent in working. And I know that God is going to send you people that are diligent in what they do, because in order for you to accomplish this, you're going to need a certain level of diligence with the people that you meet and the people that you're connected to. And the gentleman that I mentioned before that had on the red shirt and the slim light skin had on dark blue jeans, this is what I feel. He symbolized people that you are going to literally get some people off the streets. These are people that are talented. These are people that are gifted, but they lack the opportunity for their skills and the gifts to be used. And I see you literally just getting people, of course, with wisdom, but I see you getting people that have been rejected and say, I see something in you. You have this skill. I'm going to give an opportunity. I see you taking risks on people that other people reject and abandon. I see you saying, you know what? They probably rejected this person. They probably gave up on them, but I see something in them, so I'm going to give them an opportunity. That's what that gentleman symbolized. One of them symbolized that you're going to give people, the rejects, you're going to bring them. It's okay. I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to train you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do something with your skill set. Another thing too is when I took the picture, the house was already in the realm of the spirit. Everything you need is already done. When I took that picture on the phone, I saw a complete project. But when I put the phone down, I saw what it looks like in the natural. So what God is saying is, it's already done. It's already complete. You have to just step in it and bring it to manifestation. It's already complete. It was a beautiful, beautiful property, huge and nice. It's in the middle of nowhere. But when I saw through the phone, I took a picture of it. I was able to see like it became a neighborhood, from a junkyard into a neighborhood. Like I had that feel, that it was just like, wow. And it's already done. Now it just has to manifest. Now, I want to say this too. I've seen clips of the Prophet's house. I remember, I don't know when that was, but I saw clips and I was like, wow, that was so beautiful. And I know the Prophet's house was something, a project that was dear to your heart. And it's just unfortunate for what happened in Nigeria. I saw, some of the things that happened there. And for those of you that are watching this, you've never done projects in Africa. You've never done, whether it's business or ministry. It is a whole different ballgame. Trust me, I know. I know firsthand. I know how it is. And man, the hoops and all the stuff they gotta, it's crazy. But I feel God is saying that Nigeria rejected you, but God had a different plan. And I believe that God is going to, through this property, this place, I believe that it is not just a spiritual place, but it's also a physical location that God has given you access to, complete access to, that the vision that you had, like with the Prophet's house and some of the other programs that you have, that you're going to influence people with that. Now, the 4 pillars that I mentioned, the 4 gates that I mentioned, I want to give you the 4 things that I believe God is saying regarding this 4 and what those symbolize. It's not just the physical gate, but this is the spiritual portals that God is opening. But these portals are going to be open to another level to you and your family. So one word of caution that came to mind with this, one word of caution is, I saw you being the sole owner of this property. I didn't see any partners. I didn't see anyone else there. Like, you know what, we're gonna go in together on this. Because sometimes when you want to buy properties, right, you want to have so and so going, this one coming. But I saw you as being the sole owner. Nobody else is on the purchase agreement with you except you, your wife, your family, just you. And I see this as something that will impact generations, that generations down the line, your children will even be able to use this place and continue on with your legacy. I see this like as a legacy project for your family. And so that's the only word of caution is, if you believe this word is from God, if you believe this dream is from God, the only caution that I would say is God want you to do this alone. This is not something where you got to get people to be, to buy this with you, if that makes any sense. No one is going to join to buy this with it. It is going to solely be you and your family, your wife. Of course, that goes with that. So that's the only word of caution that I have when it comes to that. Now, the 4 pillars that I see, these are the 4 gates of influence that God is giving you, but it's going to be at a different level because this property is going to unlock so many things. And the first one is the gate of leadership. Like the school of prophets that you had, I see you training leaders. They're going to come there for training, high-end training, to get what they need and take that back to their churches, take it back to, their ministries and take it back. So that's the first gate. The second gate is the gate of family, to help to build and rebuild families. I see that just like in the natural, the place was a mess. The place was not in good shape. It needed so much work. There are families that God is going to connect you with, even more so than now, that are broken. And just like Nehemiah rebuilt the walls, God is going to use you, your wife, and your family to rebuild the walls back from broken families. I see you guys having a huge role to play in rebuilding families again, those that have been broken, those that are going through. But I see that the next gate of influence is the gate of finance and business, that God, through this place, God is going to give you strategic and secret things about financing and business, that you're going to train the next financiers are going to come there to get specific instructions on exactly what to do. It's not going to be something where they come and they're just guessing, maybe this worked, maybe that's going to work. No, but they are going to get specifics on what to do, that God is going to give you. And I believe that as you spend time and you seek God more, God is going to unlock different levels of strategies, financial and business strategies to you, that you're going to release to those that have come to benefit there. And I look forward to coming there one day too. The next gate, the final gate that I saw, was the gate of entertainment. I see that this gate, it is going to be the most influential gate in terms of impact. Because I see this gate, this portal, reaching new generations in the masses. I'm talking about young people in the masses, that God is going to give you strategies through that entertainment gate, the entertainment, whether it's like music, movies, shows, things like that, that He's going to give you a greater level of influence and a voice, that a lot of the young people are going to be raised here. They are going to become household names. If you've ever watched like Disney they've produced some of the greatest stars on the planet, right? Through whether they're TV shows, their movies, their programs. And I see you being the entertainment part, being that influential, that God is going to raise up, those from elementary and up. The influence that you're going to have on them is going to last, and they're going to take what they've learned to go out and to reach the masses. So again, the 4 gates of influence, as mentioned in the dreams, it wasn't just a physical portal, but it's a spiritual one. The first one is leadership. The second gate is family. The third gate is finance and business. And the fourth is entertainment. I see those being the 4 major pillars of influence that you're going to have in this day and age. So now I just want to pray for those that are, watched to this part. I want to pray for Prophet Arayomi and his family, and I hope that you keep him in your prayer too. That God is going to give him wisdom, because whenever you have a massive project, the number one thing you need is, finances is going to come, but wisdom and understanding. So I just want to pray for him, and I want you to join me to pray for him, whether you know him or not, to lift him in prayer. Because I believe that this is going to be life-changing, not just for his family, but for those that are connected to him. Heavenly Father, I just pray for your servant now, Lord. I pray that you're going to give him wisdom. You're going to give him understanding. You're going to give him direction. Lord, I pray that those that are connected to him will be there, continue to support him. I pray for his wife and his family. Father, that you cover them with the blood of Jesus. That every demonic attack that is set to come their way, Lord, I cancel that in the name of Jesus, that it will have no effect on them. Lord, I thank you that as he steps into a new level, that you're going to show yourself to him like you've never before. And he's going to allow you to just reveal yourself to him, Lord. Bless him, lead him, protect him, keep him safe in Jesus' name. My brother, I don't know you, never met you before, but I love you, your family. I'm praying for you, and I can't wait for this to manifest. I can't wait. God bless you.